do it like that.
All right.
Yeah, it's just not a good look for me.
Anyway. Nor me. Quite honestly.
Now that we've all got that out of the way.
Yeah.
So,
yes. So, hi everyone.
Hello, cheers.
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 Everybody got their glass of wine.
Welcome to this week's Wine Wednesday in Real Estate. Talking real estate, drinking wine. Do you have your wine? What's everyone drinking today at 3 o'clock?
Yeah, let us know what wine you have or what wine you'd like to have.
What do we have?
Why don't you recommend some wine to us as well?
Yeah.
We would gladly take recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be a white wine though.
Yeah, we only do white wine because otherwise it'll stain our teeth.
It's like this is Total Request Live. So. And I'm Carson Daly, your host. No, I'm just kidding. So anyways, well, today we're going to talk about the pros and cons of buying this year, 2017, versus 2018.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yes.
people ask all the time, well, there's not a lot of homes for sale. What if I wait till next year? Or, my credit isn't perfect, and, maybe it's best for me if I wait another year. So we're going to talk about some of those things and why it's maybe better now or maybe better later. So
Yes.
we're going to talk through those things. So first, I'll lead off here.
Please do.
I'm going to tee you up. I'm going to watch you hit it off the tee.
Or
Yes.
No.
Or swing.
swinging a miss.
No, I fully.
Which is typical.
I know you're going
For
to
me.
knock it out of the park. That's
We'll see.
baseball, though. So, anyway, you've heard us say time and time again that inventory is.
I kind of feel like there's pressure with this
I have a
setup. I'm
record
not
on
sure where we're going with this.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
well, we're going to.
It's going to be a surprise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go. Sorry.
So there's not many homes for sale. So, and interest rates are rising. So we've got a lot of forces, working in the market right now. So one of the pros that we'll start off with here is that because interest rates are rising, and anticipated to rise further, like the National Association of Realtors, the Mortgage Bank Association, both have said that by the end of the year, one estimates like 4.6, and the other one estimates like 4.75 for rates. Right now, we're about 4.25 on average for a 30-year fixed rate loan.
Okay.
So, so having that all been said, so why is that a pro and not a con if interest rates are rising?
Well, because interest rates are going to end up being higher. So if you're buying now, then you can get them while your interest rates are still low.
Right. For instance, if you buy a $100,000 house, interest rates go up 1%, and that means you're going to pay 1% more per year. So on a $100,000 house, you're now going from, if you borrow $100,000 in a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, you're going to pay an extra $1,000 per year in interest, at least in the first year. And what that means for your payment is that works out to I think it's $83. I figured this out before. No, I don't.
$83 a month.
Yeah, so it's $83 per month more for if it goes up 1%. So obviously, if it goes up a 0.5%, which is more along the lines of what it seems like people are prognosticating, your payment's going to go up about $45 a month. Now, if you are buying a $300,000 house and not a $100,000 house, where you're borrowing $300, that payment's going to go up, $135 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the short of the story is
Makes a difference.
yes, and the longer you wait, interest rates have been at record lows for the last few years. I think they hit their lowest point the end of 2012, maybe the beginning of 2013, and they touched in the 3.3 and 3.4 for a 30-year fixed, which was like the lowest mortgage rates have ever been. When my parents bought a home, I think back in the 80s, interest rates were like
16, 17?
percent.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
the fact that they're going up, we're still going up from record levels. We're not going up from the 15, 16% that, generations before ours were buying homes. So interest rates are still good. So don't let that discourage you that you've missed out, on your you still have missed out on less than a percentage increase, which is still pretty incredible.
Well, I think they factor too, once it gets to be about 7 to 8% interest is when it starts evening out with rental payments. So, you know, the lower the interest rates, obviously it's more of a benefit to buy over renting. You've got to consider that factor as well. But I think there is a point where that starts to level off, where
yes, absolutely,
the cost is the same.
And you know, on that note, if we continue the trend, home price trend, and this leads into our next item or topic here is another reason to buy this year. Our prices are rising. We've been in a strong seller's market for going on 3 or 4 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's each year prices have gone up. The median home price as of February this year had risen from the February before 5.1%. So if you're starting to see a trend here, is that everything is basically, by waiting, is going to cost you more.
Right.
So if again, and none of us, I would say, see the rising trend stopping anytime soon, because there's such a backlog of buyers.
Yeah.
That the multiple offers and things that are causing those prices to go up. Strong economy, multiple offers, people feeling confident about finances, all of those things are contributing to the rising interest rates and the rising prices. So combine the two, as those things head their upward trajectory, your affordability is going the opposite direction.
Yes.
For instance, and I did a little math, and I know those of you who know me, they're like, oh Lord, Wayne's doing math, so you better double check it out.
Check.
So the median price, let's just go through a little exercise.
Okay.
Median price was $161,900 in February. That means 50%
That's
of
in
houses.
Central Ohio.
Yes, in Central Ohio, which includes 8 counties surrounding Franklin and parts and bits and pieces of other counties throughout Ohio. So median price is $161,900.
Mm-hmm.
That means 50% of homes were above that, 50% were below that.
Okay.
So it's not an average, that's the median, right smack in the middle. And that helps to factor out the really high price homes and then the really low price homes.
Right.
Gives you a more accurate, I think, estimate than your average. So, 161.9, and that was up 5% from the year before. So the year before, the median was, what did I say, 153,805 was a year ago. So if you financed putting 10% down on a 30-year mortgage last year, you would have financed about $138,000, and your payments would have been $718. So now you finance the same home, which is now 5.1% higher. Your payments went from $718 to $788. So now, not only did the interest rates issue, now you've got a price issue. So between the two, if about in this example, then you've got $60 more for interest, and now you've got $80 a month more for your payment, and it's for the exact same home that was from a year ago, that you're now paying $140 a month more than you would have been paying last year. So just put these numbers in perspective, and then if you were to wait again next year, prices go up another 5%, that payment's going to go from
plus
7,
interest rates
plus
going up.
interest rates, and that is not factored in.
No.
Just the price increase alone goes from $788 to $830. So another $50 per month if you wait another year.
Per month.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And not only do you have to pay that much more a month, but because the median price is increasing, you're also going to have that much more in savings to put money down, because it's a certain percentage. So whether that's 10%, 3%, or 20% down, you're just increasing that amount of money that you have to have in savings.
Right.
Yep. So, the costs, as you can see, and these again, we'll go through the cons here in a minute. But, I think the pros far outweigh the cons. From purely a financial perspective here.
Sure. Saving money.
Yeah.
Buying a house.
And not to mention, in all of this, we talked about earlier, and this is even on list here, but you get the tax benefits of buying a home. Of course, we're not tax advisors, and we're not advising you.
No.
Disclaimer.
But you can now itemize
Yeah,
deductions.
for now you can, right?
Yes.
So take advantage of it.
Mortgage interest, PMI, which is private mortgage insurance. So if you don't put 20% down and you have to have mortgage insurance, you can deduct that. You can deduct taxes. So all of those things are deductible, which lowers your tax liability, which means either you'll owe the government less, or you will get a bigger, or you'll get a bigger refund at the end of the year, depending upon your financial situation. So.
And I think that both of these also factor into the idea that when a lot of people get a house, they're going to want to, some people may want to take out financing to do improvements or things like that. Well, once again, if the price is higher, then you're going to qualify for potentially less for those home improvements, and you're going to have to pay more because interest rates are higher again. So it's not just that one single solitary purchase that you have. It's everything that you want to do with the house once you're there.
Right.
So, yeah, all things to take into account as you're considering. Now, ultimately, it's your financial situation that's going to determine for you what's best for you.
Obviously, sometimes you can't purchase right now.
Right. What's best for you may not be best for someone else, and this is where I think you need to talk to your mortgage professional and discuss mortgage options to see, based upon your credit score, your earnings, and all of that stuff. Then, they can give you the what it is going to cost you for real, as far as monthly payment, interest, all that stuff. So. Talk to your mortgage professional, talk to your realtor, talk to the people, friends and family, and figure out for you, what's best.
Right.
It's not to say if you end up not buying this year that the world collapses, and then next year
Certainly
that it's
not.
You may be able to afford less home, but again, we're talking relatively small percentages. You start to draw that out over time, you procrastinate. You could end up paying a lot more for a home, or you're just priced out of certain neighborhoods where you wanted to be before. So, just things to consider. And as we mentioned, and this leads to segue into our next topic is back to inventory. Looked again this morning. I think we're at about 3,700 homes for sale.
Anybody want to sell?
Right.
Yes,
Exactly.
Please. So I mean,
Because we need your listing.
Everybody needs your house.
Everyone.
What's that song? I ain't too proud to beg. Because at this point,
we will.
I mean, a couple years ago, I thought it was, bad as far as the level of inventory.
Yeah.
But boy, it's getting worse. And
Well, and that's the crazy thing. Every year I have gone, and I'm sure you guys are the same, thinking there's no way this seller's market cannot. It's got to balance at some point, and I'll be darned, it has not. No, it's just gotten
so the way we
better to sell.
The way we measure these things is what's called month supply of inventory. So that basically tells you, the month supply of inventory tells you how many months it would take to sell every home for sale right now at the current pace of sales.
Right. So
a year ago, that rate was 2.1. So it took 2.1 months. If everything stopped and not another house was listed, it would take 2.1 months to sell every home listed for sale in the Central Ohio MLS.
Yeah, and that's everything. I mean, like we've said before, condos, single family, HUD homes, the distressed properties we talked about last week. That's everything in the MLS, Columbus MLS.
Yes. And again, in that 8-county plus, some surrounding county stuff. So that was last year, 2.1 months. Right now, or as of the latest report from the Board of Realtors, which came out in February, that shrunk to 1.6 months. Now, to also put this in perspective, and I hope you people are numbers people, and I'm not a numbers people, so the people who know me that watch this are going to be like, oh my Lord, he's lost his mind. So, but in any case, it's fascinating to me, this whole, how everything is transpired, with the market. And if you put that in perspective, it was 2.9 months 2 years ago, 2.1 last year, and 1.6 this year. So while we've all sat on the sidelines waiting and hoping that everybody's gonna start listing their homes for sale, there's still far more buyers in the market than there are sellers. A normal balanced market, I believe that number is 3. So 90 days is a normal balanced market and the time it takes typically to sell a home.
Right.
We are now at half that. So,
So I would like to add though, I mean, I know I am big, heavy in social media and also watching the MLS. I am seeing an uptick in activity. So this is not being said to scare anyone out of, you know, wanting to buy now because there's nothing, or I don't want to list because there's nothing to buy. Stuff is happening. I think it's very cyclical as well. I mean, people kind of base it, spring, summer is going to be the hot times to buy and sell because there's a lot of factors in that. It's easier to move over the summer. There's school that needs to be done for children, and
people are in better moods because the sun is shining.
I mean,
everybody's been happier today.
The neighborhoods look prettier.
Everything
You know,
looks
there's
prettier,
leaves and flowers and everything's growing. So you know, it is what it is. But sorry.
But no, I think they're all super valid points.
Yeah.
And the market has definitely seen an uptick, but what we're seeing is that the pace of buyers jumping into the market is outpacing that of the sellers jumping into the market. Which this leads to another good segue into the cons of buying in 2017. And really, I can only think of really one solid con, other than personal financial situation, which would be a con for some people, is that, you know, maybe it's just not the year for your finances. You know, if you're working on credit score or saving funds, and we've talked about, and we will talk about in future Wine Wednesdays, how you can leverage what you have to still potentially buy without eliminating yourself. But sometimes it's just not right for everybody to buy, you know, now. So if your financial situation, that's I think con number one, and that kind of goes without saying. The second one really is the competition level here. Because of the number of buyers outnumbering the number of sellers, we're seeing an extraordinary situation where it's almost the rule that there's going to be multiple offers rather than the exception being that, you know, you make an offer, they counter it, and you accept or you counter again. That's not happening.
You have a few days to actually go look at the house.
Yeah, right.
You know,
even if 3 days, like the listing I just put on the market a couple weeks ago, you know, we're still in contract and, you know, working through all of that, but we listed it and the seller got an offer. We listed it on Thursday, showing started Friday, got a couple offers. One of the offers he was happy with, didn't want to do highest and best for a number of reasons. We'll talk about that in another Wine Wednesday, but he accepted it. So, you know, 2 days. Not even 2 days.
Yeah.
So you don't have a whole lot of time. I mean, you usually, and with that being said, there are some agents who are listing that are doing, you know, will take offers. They're setting time limits. They're only offering certain days, times to show. They're starting it with an open house, whatever. It's not the norm. But, you know, you used to have, oh, let's go see the house. Let's go do a second showing, maybe even a third, fourth, whatever. You had time. Right now, there's just not time.
Yeah.
It's within hours.
And during those showings, there's a really good chance that you're not going to be the only people there.
Oh, no.
Those whole concurrent showings are becoming very regular now.
Yeah.
So
I ran into that over the weekend. There were 3 other people, agents, and their
I used to try to wait outside if there are other people. Anymore, there's so many people, it's like, I'm not getting in line.
No.
You know, if you don't want us around, you go upstairs, we'll go down to the basement first, and we'll
But we're coming in.
Yeah.
So.
That's how we roll. We'll get you in that house.
Yes. So, but there are, even though this is a con, you know, it is not something that can't be overcome. You know, we have, I mean, now that we've been in this, you know, and I think it's unprecedented, really, the level of where we are as far as the seller's market is concerned.
Yeah.
I've talked to a lot of agents and people who have been around for decades that said they've never seen it like this in Columbus.
Really?
And there's an independent brokers association, of which I'm a member, and I was sitting across from a couple agents who'd been in the business for over 30 years. And I thought, well, I've been in the business for 10 years, and, you know, that's a decent amount of time to get perspective on the industry. But I thought, wait, what better perspective than someone for 30 years? And I asked them point blank, I said, you've been at this long. Have you ever seen it like this? And they said, never like this.
Wow.
So, but again, that goes back to, even though it's a con, it is not something we can't work past. And
Right.
we've had a good 2 years where we've built some experience working in this market.
There's tricks. Well,
so
not
there's-
tricks. I don't want to
well,
say
I
it
mean,
like
it
that.
is-
But there are.
We're not tricking anybody, but it's a
No.
trick of the trade, right? Is
Right.
how to make your offer stronger.
How do you stand out when there's maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe not
Right.
that many, but or at
And
least
we're not
one
going to
other
say it
offer.
here because we don't want to,
No.
you know.
But,
You have to call us.
Well, we don't want to share secrets that could hurt you.
Right.
And I'm talking directly to
To
you.
you.
Yes. So we want you to win, and so you know we've got some tricks of the trade here that
Right.
that we'll leverage, you know, when that time comes. But just know, you know, I find, and you guys tell me what you think, but I find that the buyers in this market, it takes a couple times before they learn really the state of the market. I think they go in skeptical about what we're saying. They bid on their first house, and they want to bid lower, because for whatever reason in their mind, they think that's the price of the home,
Right.
or what it should be, and they lose a bidding war. So I find that often it takes people a couple times to really learn, oh, Wayne, Jenny, or TJ really wasn't kidding, you know, here. This is really the state of things. So you would be wise if you really want a house, and I mean this is an emotional, you know, as much as you want to figure out your checklist and is checks 9 out of 10 boxes and this fits 90% into what I want as far as payment, all of those things, you can try to make it as mathematical as you want, but at the end of the day, it's an emotional decision.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it's good to have those financial checks in place, but if you decide that this is the house, and sometimes you get that feeling when you walk through the house, and it happened to me. I walked in the house and I knew the moment I opened the door that this was my house,
Right.
and I was going to get it. Fortunately, I'm a real estate agent and have been through this, and I understood what it took to get it. So you would be wise to listen to your agent, hire your agent carefully. You know, we've talked about that right here.
All three of us?
Yes. And the good, the good
Kidding.
thing, you know, and we've talked about this as well, is if you hire any one of us at 43 Homes, you know, we really lean on each other.
Yeah.
And so you're not just getting TJ's experience or Jenny's experience or mine. When we run into scenarios, when we're writing an offer, especially in this hot market, you know, we're bouncing these ideas and
Yeah.
thoughts off of each other. So, you know, I've been in the business 10 years. These guys have been in, you know, for a while here as well. So, you know, you're getting not just me or them, you're getting all of us. And so that's a lot of wisdom. And regardless if it's us or someone else, if you've hired carefully and you have the right agent, listen to your agent, because they understand the market and are going to be able to advise you. You know, there is a little bit of, you know, art, and there's a lot of luck in
there
winning a multiple offer
Absolutely.
situation, but we can increase your odds.
Yeah.
Is what it boils down to. We can't guarantee, but we can increase your odds.
Well, and I think that the other thing for folks to remember is that I've never had, and I've never talked to anyone who's had any two transactions that are alike.
No.
Oh.
So,
No, yeah.
because you can have one agent who's been doing this 30 years, like some of the folks that you were talking to, but they've seen their one view of what's happened in their singular transactions for that point in time. We've seen a wide variety of transactions through a wide variety of situations and a wide variety of price points. And because we have those open lines of communication with each other, and we can bounce those ideas off of each other, it really is an advantage that I don't think you find in most other places.
In just 2015, there were over 60 transactions, I think, between the three of us. I mean,
Mhm.
it's not breaking any records or anything, but that's just this last year.
Well-
I mean, and if you factor in all the other, this isn't our first time at the rodeo. So
The average agent usually does, I've heard statistically 8 to 10 a year, so
Yeah.
significant.
So, but
And-
that's experience that works for our
So
company. So
what that
And
means
the only
hashtag, let's have that conversation.
right. The one thing that I would add though is some sellers get scared because of some of the things that we've gone through. And I think if you're going to list and buy, you need to remember that you're in a strong position listing, that you can put in certain things in the contract to protect you when you're selling your home, to make sure that you're not left in the lurch at closing.
Right.
And we can have those discussions with you and talk to you about those and help you feel more confident in that decision.
Absolutely.
There's strategies for all of this, and
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, and the more we've been in this kind of market, the more I think each of us have learned. And you know, a wise woman, who was my mother, you know, once said is, you know, you don't have to know everything. You learn from other people's, you know, experience and mistakes. And you know, certainly, I think there's a lot of that sitting in this room right now. So, I mean, really, those are our topics. Is there anything else that you guys can think of?
Just reminding people that if they have questions about this or any other topics, send those to us, message us, comment, text us, so that you can be entered in the drawing for our dozen cookies from Plenty of Cookies.
Plenty of cookies.
Beautiful, delicious cookies. If you haven't
Amazing.
seen
They're
them.
wonderful.
Jenny Murray was our, or Jen Murray. I'm sorry, Jenny. She's my cousin, so I can call her Jenny, but I don't think she goes by that anymore.
Why not? That's an amazing, awesome name.
It is, isn't it? So, but in any case, yeah, TJ, you know, leave a message for us, or you know, post it in the comments. We'll be glad to answer. And Jenny was the winner last month. Sorry,
Not me.
not Jenny Reeds, no.
His Jenny.
But in any case, she was the winner and got the cookies. And also remember, you can find our podcast on iTunes, where you can subscribe.
We're big time now.
We are moving on up in the world here. So we were George Jefferson, we'd be about the 20th floor right now. So.
You can, and honestly, the podcasts are great because you can download them, save them to your phone, and then listen to them when you're at the gym or whatever. Because
in the car.
There's nothing more tiring.
This would be really awesome to listen to while you're on the treadmill. Or doing burpees. Oh. We're so motivating.
Wine Wednesday, real estate, and burpees.
Oh.
Yeah. Wow, our name's getting longer.
Yeah. Another hashtag.
Yeah.
I think the most important thing to take away, you know, there's always going to be pros to buying now, cons to buying now, but, you know, what we always stress and, you know, whatever, be what it is. It's my hashtag. Let's have that conversation. I mean, it all starts there. Let's just talk about where your thoughts are, if it's going to benefit you now, if it benefits you to wait. You know, there's a lot of things, and there's no pressure, no obligation to have these conversations with us. I mean, you
Absolutely.
reach out with whatever.
And what I find with people is that the cons you have in your mind are always going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're always going to come up with reasons not to do it.
Right.
You know, and it's the people who are finally like, all right, you know, I've waited these last couple of years, I'm tired of waiting, I'm gonna do it. And, you know, as much as I guess I do kind of like advertising slogans, but Nike's slogan from, you know, probably over a decade ago, the just do it, is so
Bonos.
applicable, you know. Bonos? Oh, Bonos. We might edit that out. Oh, I'm getting red.
It's hot in here. All of a sudden.
Oh, whew. So anyway. Excuse us.
Anywho.
So, oh, I'm red. Bonos.
How do we bring this back now?
Bring it back, reel it back.
Just do it.
Yeah, so
Just
just
do it.
do
Just
it.
do it.
At some point, you just gotta do it. And, you know.
Well, I think too, what's important in that, I mean, you know, if you're not in a house right now, you're renting, likely. I mean, you're living somewhere, you're going to be paying for housing no matter what. And that is my biggest factor. I have had several clients who have actually, first of all, been looking at rental properties. And, you know, have you considered renting at all? Have you thought about it? Buying. Have you thought about buying at all? Have you talked about it? And they haven't. And for whatever reason, they have an idea in their head that there's no way they can do it. Credit score, down payment not available. Here's the thing. You know, we work with several lenders each, and we have people who, you know, have programs that can qualify you if you have a low credit score, or
you don't have as much for down payment. You can buy for as low as $500 down.
Or there are programs where you are required to have 0 down.
Right.
So, it just all depends. And it starts with that conversation. But I think the biggest takeaway from that is if you're renting, you're still paying for housing. And oftentimes
And
that
rent
rental
prices
payment...
are not going down.
No, and they're not, but they're usually equal to or more than what a mortgage payment would be. I mean...
That's absolutely...
I know what my mortgage payment is, and I run into people who are looking for way more in a rental payment. So,
I mean, in my neighborhood, I would be paying 50% more in rent for my
Yeah.
house easily than what I pay in my mortgage.
Yeah.
There are people renting apartments in the Arena District and these brand new condos they're building in the Short North, right around the corner from where I live.
yeah,
And they're paying more than I'm paying to have a house,
yard,
a yard, a place to park,
investment,
and I'm getting tax deductions.
equity.
So,
That's a word.
it's not, of course we want to work with you and we want to sell you a home.
Mhm.
Right.
But that is not our motivating factor.
No.
Is that there could be a large financial upside for you, depending upon the situation. So, or any financial upside, and I think those are the things you have to weigh.
Yeah.
Is what it boils down to.
And what's most important to me and Wayne and TJ and the other agents here is the education side of it. I mean, we're not here to force you into doing something that you're not personally ready to do yet.
Exactly.
So, part of what I love about what I do is that I have this knowledge base and that I want to share it with you. I want to educate you on, the ins and outs. What is the benefit? What is not the benefit at this point? So.
And there's a huge satisfaction at the. And
yeah.
I've been in the business for 10 years, and I never had someone come to me after the fact and say they regretted what they did.
Right.
And most of the times, it's the opposite.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, why didn't I do this sooner? It can be stressful during the process, but anything worth having is going to take some effort and energy. So, put forth the effort, put forth the energy. Come up with a plan, either it's this year, next year, or the year following. And don't let the talks of interest rates and all the other stuff that discourage you, that if it's not this year, you know what, it may cost you a little more, but in the end, if
It's
you
still worth
factor
it.
in all the financial benefits, the deductions, and
You're still way ahead. I mean, because here's the thing, even if the interest rates go up, what are they going to be at? They're still under 5?
And the number we talked about earlier, 8%? 8% is sort of that magic number when it starts getting close to what your rent would be.
Right.
And we're still well below that.
Well below it. So, again, any takeaway, this conversation today was not to scare people or, make you feel like, oh, I have to do it now. Because that's not, it may not be right for you at this point. But it is just education. That's what we're, bringing forth both sides. So.
yes.
With
That being said, find us on iTunes.
Yes.
iTunes, Facebook.
You can download on YouTube.
Some of us are on Snapchat. Not this, but
She's on Snapchat.
we can
I
snap.
got the Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram and Facebook. That's
Pinterest.
as far as I go. She's on all of it. So that's your girl if that's your stuff. So but otherwise you can find us online, 43homes.com, jennyreeds.com, homesbytj.com, iTunes. We're out there. Till next week, Wednesday
guys.
next week.
Cheers.
3 o'clock. Cheers.
Bam.
Bam.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Shut down.
Have a good rest of your week.